Yeah.
Yeah, the trench doesn't line up.
That's
Like,
OCD.
oh, look at you! You
It's
built.
two separate lines. What the
Well,
Speaking of
to be
fuck,
fair,
guy?
OCD,
to be fair, there's a gully in the middle. Like, there's a gully in the middle.
Yeah, and
Um,
fortify the gully. Do it
wait,
right.
is that trench even thick enough to stop a tank track?
no, but the little white things in front of it are tank traps,
Oh, okay, okay.
concrete tank traps. So they do have 2 rows of concrete tank traps.
Okay, well there you go. But as I
But
say, speaking of OCD, so that one of those Hollow Men is playing Factorio now,
Oh no.
and yeah, he's actually got worse. He's probably got the worst OCD among everyone. He is
oh no,
me. He is the guy in the group that when you play a game like Minecraft with, they spend half their time in the base reorganizing everyone else's chests because it's annoying them about how everyone's kind of just dump shit places.
Yeah, hence why when you and I played mods in the past, the understanding was, all right, Sneaky, you chill, do whatever you do with the base, and just label it so I can see what's going on, and I'll go get all the raw material.
I just spent the entire time with the fucking base.
I'd go back after 2 hours. It's like, oh, what the Sneaky, what the hell? You've reorganized everything 3 times.
Also, the base is now square and a mountain. When did this
Oh,
happen?
when did we get a second basement?
Just wait till I tell them about
also,
the third basement.
someone has today reminded me that Lord of the Rings does have some good music.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Why would it not?
I just it's been
Why
so
would
long
you?
since I listened to it. I'm like, you know what? I should incorporate this more into my D&D lists.
Well, yes, obviously. Secondary. Um, the my grandmother has a what's the Amazon one called? Alexa.
Yep.
Alexa, subscribe to True Sneaky Devil. Um,
Oh no.
Does that work?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh no.
That's just punishment for anyone trying to listen to me. But my
I like that
grandmother
you
has an
assume.
Alexa.
I like that you assume that someone's using speakers for this stream.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
One person did. Remember that person? They showed up and they were like, "Yeah, my little brother's now interested in you because I used to listen to you in the
That
living
was
room."
Isley.
No, that was someone else. That wasn't
I,
Isley pretending to be themselves. We're talking about someone else.
okay, but I'm pretty sure Isley said that.
No, Isley did not say that. Isley invented a little brother to introduce.
Oh, that's right.
No, I'm talking about the person who put me on their iPad in the kitchen.
Ah, yes. Yes, that one. A
Yeah.
most unfortunate life choice.
Yes, very much so. But anyway, so my grandmother's got an Alexa, and she likes to put on like classical music, and almost without fail, every single time I come upstairs, I'll just listen to some of the classical music for a second, and I'll just turn to my dad and I'll just be like, "Did you put the fucking Lord of the Rings soundtrack on again?" He's like, "Yeah, she doesn't know the difference."
I mean, to be fair,
I'm like, fair, yeah.
I I forget someone was listening to a specific style of jazz and they had a friend who was a really big nerd and that friend just slipped the tank theme in there and nobody noted. But I'm like, is that the Cowboy Bebop theme? He's like, shh.
Cowboy Bebop's
Nice.
got some good theme.
It's
Also,
got
I
some good
found out
music.
there's going to be a Cowboy Bebop RPG,
No, what?
like a
No,
tabletop
what?
RPG. So, and they've got the quick play rules out as like a here,
Hmm.
take a look.
Oh god, how bad are they gonna fuck it?
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
haven't looked at them yet.
Cowboy Bebop doesn't really have a power level. It's more of an RP than an RPG. You know what I
I do
mean?
have cybernetics.
You know what I would like to do with you guys though? I would like to try and
Uh-oh.
play a game of Fate.
No.
Oh,
I just can't get into Fate. Every time I play Fate, I just go, man, there's a bunch of RPGs I could be playing that are just more enjoyable.
That's fair. So Fate is not associated with the Fate Stay Night, etc. universes.
Listen, someone out there is making that,
Probably.
and it's
It's gonna be
disgusting and
dumb.
horny.
Yeah. But no, Fate is a role playing. I would call it a tactical role playing game. And I call it a role playing game instead of like, the more what are they fucking called? What's D&D and shit called? I know they have some special name for it. A TTRPG, tactical
tabletop RPG.
Oh yeah.
tabletop RPG. Yeah, I would just call this more of a tactical role play because you don't really you have stats, air quotes, but they're more role play stats than anything. Because what you do is you don't say like, oh, I attack blank. You just go, I attack in quadrant 1, and then you just like you describe how you attack, and then you roll for the stat that you use to attack by how you described you attacked. So it's like, oh, I do a backflip, so you roll your athletics. Or it's like, oh, I grab the candlestick off of the table and I throw it at them, so you have to roll your accuracy stat. Or it's like, oh, I grab this, burning torch and I throw it onto the carpet or some shit. And so now the carpet's on fire, and so now everyone takes like a -1 to the athletics while they're in quadrant 1. And it's like a whole bunch of stuff that is you just kind of just say what's going on all the time, and you just kind of have to keep track of random modifiers that are now in place during combat. And it's it's air quotes combat because you also only have one action. So like moving to a new quadrant is your turn, or throwing something is your turn. Like, you don't get like multiple attacks. You don't have an actual attack stat. You don't have like weapon damage isn't so much damage as it's just role play stuff.
So it's super fucking dumbed down LARP bullshit.
Yeah, it's more LARP. It's like tabletop LARP, effectively.
Yeah, it's a very watered down plug and play system. You can
Yeah, that's what I'm
you
getting.
can essentially put like it makes a really simple system to just jump in between different like genres,
Meh.
and you can plug almost any world into it.
Yeah,
But
okay, I get
it's
that,
more
but
it's more story heavy, I guess you could argue.
It's a great
it's great for
system.
people that don't want to deal with lots of numbers and they don't want to deal with like the power scaling of D&D.
Or if you want, or if like, oh, the thing that I want to play doesn't have a real like, I want to play Fate Grand Order the RPG and that doesn't have a system. Well, the Fate system will let you kludge that together just fine. I
Yep.
want to play the Fallout RPG, which technically doesn't exist, but technically does exist. It's in a very weird spot.
Yeah. It would also be a really easy way to introduce someone to tabletop RPGs.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you can ease them into dealing with the numbers, because
But
there's
honestly,
next to nothing to keep track of.
why ease them in? Just
Well,
jam it in.
ironically, I would say actually, I've seen more people be more comfortable getting eased into tabletop RPGs via like D&D and shit, because they can just sit there and be silent and just roll.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I had people who wanted to start playing, and I was like, all right, so we can do Pathfinder 2 or 5e. And they're like, well, what's the benefit of Pathfinder 2? I'm like, Pathfinder 2 is
Why
going
would
to
you
be
do
more
that?
complex than 5e, which, right? And that appealed to them. And they started getting into it, and they're like, it feels like there's a lot missing. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. Fuck it. You guys are halfway intelligent. We're just going to play Pathfinder.
We're going
Fuck it.
3.5, baby, and we're We're not looking back.
I like that they only warranted a half intelligent there.
To be fair, there's a lot of stupid people that also.
I mean,
play
my
that
brother
one.
was included, so that reduced the average intelligence.
It was so
Oh.
bad for you.
Yeah,
You've met him!
No, I've met.
No,
we've all
well, I
met
got
him,
to interact with him.
which is too much.
That's enough.
Yeah. Honestly, 3.5 will never stop being the, oh, you want something more complicated? Then let's go. They're like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah, that's right, bitch.
3.5 is great, though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Is Cliff Cleese, Man of the Greasy Sneeze, will never stop being funny.
3.5 is fantastic,
God.
but you gotta recognize that
Basically, he's a level 5 sorcerer that absolutely abuses the shit out of grease fire mechanics, and I can end up doing like if I get full range with what I can build, and the DM isn't like, oh, you can't use this book or this book or this book. If I get full range of what
The
I can
DM
build,
is fun.
yeah, if the
Basically.
DM allows you to have fun, my level 5 sorcerer will have 7 HP, have 7 spells that can do 124 damage, guaranteed, bypasses resistance, in a 60-foot radius.
Glass cannon.
Also,
the glass
if
is
you
so cannon.
somehow survive that fire, you take, like, 3d10 damage per turn at the start and end of your turn. And it takes
Oof.
2 full turns to put the fire out.
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
How do you take it at the start and the end? You just all supposed to take it all at the end.
Yeah, but fuck you! Specialization!
Sneaky, what the hell? That is
listen.
some bullshit.
No,
Yes.
listen. Pathfinder is a hell, like, here's the thing. 3.5 was made by people who liked fun, and Pathfinder was made by the people who thought 4E was for brain dead zombies, which, eventually even the people who made 4th edition were like, this was a
We
mistake.
fucked up.
My favorite part about 6th edition is that they're desperately trying to appeal to everyone using 5th edition right now by being like, guys, look, it's just like 5th edition. Please use 6th edition, guys, please.
Wait, 6th edition came out?
Which
Yeah.
one is World of Warcraft on
It
paper?
did?
World of Warcraft on paper, that's basically 4th edition.
Oh god.
Let's not discuss that.
World of Warcraft did try and make their own TTRPG at one point. It does not exist anymore.
Of course not.
It's not what I would call, good.
I
But
didn't say it would be.
yeah, but anyway, yeah, 3.5, if you have the knowledge, is incredibly fun and stupid. Pathfinder with friends is also fun because then you get to make really dumb combos, like a drunk chevalier.
Yes.
Chevrolet.
No. The
No.
drunken chevalier.
Yeah, the
Drunken
French
Chevalier
swordsman.
had some fucking shenanigans.
And then you get an
attached.
alchemist who only makes alcoholic drink potions, and it's like, here, have plus 19 to all your fucking stats. Go get them, Tiger.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, no, there's some dumb shit you can do that's also broken as fuck.
And
I've seen
it was
seen what
even worse
Sneaky is
because in
capable of.
Pathfinder, correct me if I'm wrong, Atin, but in Pathfinder, the alchemist drink buffs stacked because they counted as like separate instances or something.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I didn't need the whole concentration on them either because they were technically potions, and so he could just literally drink the +6 to each stat potion and just be like, all right, boys, I'm jacked up and goated, let's go.
Well, no, you could always stack buffs on different stats. You couldn't stack buffs from this. You couldn't stack the same buff, like regardless of if it's
but normally
potion based.
doesn't buffs normally take up concentration?
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Alchemists. Alchemists are very silly, especially if we play as a goblin alchemist who gets free extra bombs by just being a higher level. Good
That
stuff.
was a fucking. That was such a dumb build, and it was just like.
so funny.
For clarification, he did this during a campaign that we did that has been
Multiple
dead
times.
because reasons.
Mostly because Ricky is unable to adjust to changing circumstances.
No, it's literally because I had a fucking job and shit changed.
That's literally what I just said.
You made it sound like I couldn't adapt to you. Don't be an asshole about it. No. The way you fucking said that was like, oh, you can't adapt to me. I was like, no, I fucking work changed. Shut the fuck up.
You realize he's just fucking with you at this point, right? He's letting
Yeah,
himself
I know,
go.
but I have to say it because otherwise everyone's gonna be like, oh, he doesn't know how to run a campaign.
Oh well, if I wanted to say you can't run a campaign, I'd just be like, oh, Noshair can't run a campaign.
Yeah, I've never actually played Pathfinder before.
It's all right.
It's got its problems.
If
but
you
it
like
is
3.5 and you don't want to deal with making some stupid character again for 3.5 with its like 97,000 books that are available,
Yeah.
Pathfinder's great for that because they have like 12 books. So it's and pretty much they took everything that people really liked in 3.5 and just put it in Pathfinder.
Now, I will say the one thing they did not fix the fact that you need 5 feats just to take a shit, but
Yeah.
Oh god, I
But
hate
they
that
do
shit.
give you lots
people
of
who
feats,
like
though,
feats, it's like, oh yay, I can
here's
I
the
can
thing.
just
Here's
shit
the
out
thing.
there.
I'll take 3.5's feat system over 5e's feat system any day because with
Well,
3.5 I feel like I'm actually going somewhere. With 5e I feel like I'm just getting shit I owned back. It's like I'm fucking Samus in 5e it's like I'm fucking Samus where I lose the ability to take a shit and then I have to get a feat to take a shit and then I also have to get a feat to take a breath and then I have to get a
And
feat
that feat to wipe your ass.
yeah, feet to wipe my ass, and it's like, bro, what the fuck? Well, why do I have to get feats to do this shit? It's like, it's because if we put these mechanics in for normal players, it's too complicated for them. And it's like, what?
That's fucking dumb.
Yes, it is exceedingly dumb. I hate it. And it's like a constant fucking thing for literally no reason.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It is indeed
also,
a massive
by the way,
fucking problem.
if you want to take a feat, but you can't have ASI anymore. That's the other 5e decision that pretty much everyone ignores now.
Yeah, well, because they literally put a rule in. They
Yeah.
were like, this is an optional rule that you don't have to use.
And of course, everyone was just like, oh, that means it has to be
the
used.
optional rule was not using it. The canon rule for 5e is feat or ASI, because that's how the books are written.
It is incredibly dumb, and I am glad most people ignore it.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid.
Yes, that is why I said what I said.
It's not great, but
either way, we got some Sailor Moony here. You know what? Let's do Sailor Moon crossovers because normal Sailor Moon is kind of just like Sailor Moon.
I mean, Sailor Moon is fine, but
Okay, you might find one of mine in there.
We will. You're porn.
Depending on what page.
Let's see here. Oh, wow! Wow! Okay! We're just going right there. Okay. Calm your horny.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
An heir and a spare. An heir and a spare. That is the fundamental golden rule of any royal and noble family since ancient times, and the Silver Millennium was no exception. Sive Sucrose was Sailor Mercury's younger sister, and later elevated to Crown Princess after Amity was bestowed with the Sailor Mercury title. And now she's in Genshin Impact.
Why Genshin?
Because apparently, Sailor Mercury needs a harem.
Mercury needs a harem.
I'm just kidding. She doesn't get a harem. She only gets one guy, but that's probably because they maxed out how many characters they could put on the character list.
Yeah, reverse harem is never appealing.
Probably because you're male. Probably because we're all male.
Exactly.
Yeah. No one really wants to see a story about multiple dicks going into this thing.
Fuck no.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
some
not
people
have that
do.
I said most people for a reason. Californians also don't count as people, so.
It's fair.
I became
Californians,
a
in
war
fact, do
for
not count
you.
as people.
A war against opponents mode, which is for some reason capitalized, stronger than anything ever seen before, lingers in the galaxy far, far away, and the key to survival of the Galactic Alliance lies in the hands of a young kingdom from a small blue planet, its queen and her new guardian of guardians. But how long can a man, destined to become the personification of war, take before he becomes a monster itself? What the fuck? That's not a sentence! How long can a man take before he becomes a monster?
That sounds dumb.
Yes, is incredibly dumb.
That's not a fucking sentence. Featuring such characters such as Leia Organa, Darth Vader, the Sailor Scouts,
I beg pardon.
Okay.
780,000 words!
Oh, we have to listen. If Leia
Oh.
Organa becomes a Sailor Scout, I'm in.
I mean,
Three
at one point in one of
favorites!
the movies, she's dressed about as modestly.
Yeah, that is fair.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry, did you say 3 favorites for this shit?
Imagine writing nearly 1 million words and only getting 3 people to favorite it.
That's pretty fucking bad.
That's rough,
that's
buddy.
a sign to skip it.
Especially because it's a fucking Star Wars story.
Wow, I have
Good lord, I
219
look away
favorites.
from my game and see this. What the fuck? That's just
Only
sad.
219. Get on our level. 1,000.
Only 219 on conjunction specifically.
Ah, fair enough. Oh god.
Honestly,
And that's only 6 chapters.
I'm looking at some of these fics on the stream. It's like the Sailor Moon crossover section must be dead as hell.
Oh, it's so dead, dude.
Like, there's
yeah.
no one's going in there to read anything. It's like
Yeah.
they're like
so
have
dead.
at most 3 to 4 or 5. There's not that many people reading.
The peak Sailor Moon fanfiction was probably back between 2004 and 2008, and that was a lot of Ranma Sailor Moon.
Yep.
Ranma Sailor Moon and Inuyasha, basically.
Let me put it this way. I've got 20k views on conjunction.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ranma Sailor Moon was a very popular crossover because they were both based in places that were actually places in Tokyo. And
Yep.
And also they were only like a prefecture away from each other. So a lot of people really enjoyed the idea of how close they were to each other in a crossover setting, how little effort it took to make the crossover even happen, because they're both completely ridiculous with their stories.
There's very little power scaling involved between the two.
Yeah. And and the whole key thing in Life Force is super compatible, and basically there is no grinding gears in a Ranma Sailor Moon crossover.
Yeah, when it works, it fucking works.
I feel like if you looked between the lines enough, you'd probably go like, oh hey, these should probably just take place in the same fucking universe at this point.
That's quite literally what
Yeah.
everyone did.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like I said before, when I go on my rants about why it doesn't make sense for like a Harry Potter and Cyberpunk 2077 to cross over because of the massive time difference in between the two. They were both taking place at the same time period. They were taking place in roughly the same area. Their lores overlap mostly. Their power scaling overlaps. The characters themselves work out together. It's the same kind of humor, the same kind of genreing. Like almost everything that was about those two shows just worked with each other. And if you had to literally be your average brain dead reader to fuck up a crossover between the two.
So yeah, that's a lot of FF.net writers.
Oh, I know. I'm
I was
aware.
gonna say.
That's why I said it. Also, fun little fact, fun little ditty fact. I just learned recently, due to Andros, that there is a Harry Potter challenge out there called Don't Fear the Reaper. And it's a really dumb challenge, and it was made about 10 years ago at this point. And the best part about this challenge is that the person who put the challenge out has long since removed the challenge from their profile because they got so many spam messages from people who absolutely cannot write about their attempt at his challenge.
Oof.
Not surprised.
Pain.
And I find that absolutely hilarious because
I find that slightly heartbreaking.
it's
A
it's
bit
just
of
like
both.
it's like the challenge wasn't like even good though. Like it was one of those challenges where they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to get extremely specific and extremely granular about what I want to see happen in this challenge." And like these are the relationships that have to happen, and
It's
here's
literally
how
just,
they
why
have
don't
to
you write the
happen.
story yourself?
Yes, it was quite literally at the level of why don't you just write the story yourself then? And so I can only find hilarity in the fact that they just got flooded with absolute garbage from people who can't write but thought they could because they were presented with a good idea in their minds, and then they tried to write it, but then realized that A, they don't know how to write, and B, they don't know how to write someone else's idea.
Man, I want to fucking listen to Don't Fear the Reaper. This author has made me mad.
Indeed. But yeah, no sign. Honestly, from our conversation earlier, I would love to see your readers realize we do this podcast because
Some of them might be upset about that, but the most are probably pretty chill with it. It
That's okay.
depends.
We're used to making people upset.
Normally I would say I would love to see Gray and I's readers also find out about this podcast, but I don't want to advertise to them because unfortunately we are on space battles, and they are a little bit more how you say ban happy.
Oh, I'd get shit banned from QQ in a heartbeat.
Yeah. But Jesus Christ, some people are fucking stupid though. Some of the comments we received about the little interlude I write. One guy thought people were kidnapping the main character's forces. Because he was like, oh, they mentioned in the letter that the main character's forces were a thing, and so clearly they're kidnapping them. And I'm just like, how the fuck did you jump to that?
How have you arrived at this conclusion, sir?
Because they're morons.
Because they're fucking stupid. They are one of the people who have continuously just had really dumb takes.
Ah.
Anyway, so back to this Star Wars story. This story is an AU of Sailor Moon and Star Wars legends, mixed together with an OC self-insert protagonist and other franchises like Saber Rider and Resident Evil. And many cameos from other universes as well.
That just
Also,
sounds like
those
a
are very
dumpster
different
fire.
things.
Yeah, and I'm starting to understand why this story's only got 3 favorites. Like, even if this section is dead, The story is fucking massive. It's been updating. Look, its story started August 1st of 2021. So it's literally a year old. This dude updates every 3 days.
Damn.
I almost hope we
I
just
miss
find
having that kind of
atrocious
output.
grammar, just because that would make it.
Understandable how they managed
Yeah.
to update 7K words every 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just like this. So this is already a shit show. A Selfern Cerdosi main protagonist, 2 massive universes that are being mashed together, along with a bunch of other universes that are getting mashed in so they can do a bunch of cameos. And then it's also not only an AU, but it's a time skip AU.
Okay,
Eef.
now what I'm saying here is both of the 2 reviews are for chapter 2, and that's fucking it.
That's
Even
not right.
these fuckers didn't get into it.
Yeah, apparently, damn. Because apparently the
Okay,
author
then.
made some really weird choices with stealing the memories of the OC or something.
Okay.
Shit about that.
That's rough.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
There you
This
go, I just
timeline takes
updated.
place 6 years after the wedding of Neo Queen Serenity and King Endymion,
Endymion.
whatever. If he wanted his name pronounceable, he should have written it that way.
Ah, fucking no.
A few years after the end of the Swarm Wars. It's my first fan fiction. It might be the start of more stories. Oh, he's really gonna write spin-offs? Bro.
We can tell it's his first.
Yeah. Just a dude trying to write a story. Well, at least you don't have a large, obnoxious profile. Criticism is welcome as well as beta readers. I am not native English speaker or a writer, so feel free to give me help to improve my writing. Well, unfortunately, he's already
Okay.
writing English better than multiple English writers, so
Well, he gets a pass for a lot of stuff too for being an ESL.
yeah. It takes time in the beginning, but the pace will pick up, and the whole story will probably be a few 100,000 words long. A few 100,000 words long.
Ooh.
We can do this.
Hmm.
Yeah, we can do this in 500 words, Sneaky. Don't worry.
Fuck you, Max.
That's
Wait.
about 10 months worth of work.
No, in one night, Max and I were like, "Hey, let's go write this Dark Souls chapter," and we're like, "Oh, we gotta write this prologue a little bit so we can get on with the rest of the chapter." And then 9,000 words later, I'm like, "Max, I think we forgot the prologue." As in, I think forgot we were writing the prologue. Because we just ended up accidentally writing a fucking chapter.
I see.
Yeah,
Oops.
we had to make that chapter the next chapter instead.
Yeah. Much like with Gray, when we were like, "Oh, this should be a single chapter's worth of words," and then we get into it and we're like, "Oh, 45k words later, yeah, we're done with the 3 chapters we just accidentally wrote."
Yeah.
Sneaky has fantastic energy to bounce off of when you're writing. Don't know why. He just completely resets your word count.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Gray mostly does his own writing on his own time, though, so.
Yeah, and then you come in and add extra stuff, so
Yeah.
it gets much, much bigger.
I just casually doubled the word count. Don't worry about it.
Double, he says.
Yes. It takes time in the beginning, but pace will pick up. There will be drama, humor, and love in this story. Edit. Some chapters might be long.
Some chapters might be long.
Ah.
Thanks for the warning, author.
Ah.
Doesn't understand pacing.
Ah. Ah. Some
Excuse me?
parts are going to be more of a screenplay to leave room for imagination.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Take a short walk.
Also,
walk
I
Don't
will
do that.
link music to play while reading certain sections
Oh, one of those.
on fanfiction.
on
You
fanfic.
can't link
Yep.
music.
I mean,
you
you
can't
can say
fucking
what
link.
you can say what the OST is.
Well, you can cut the link up into bits and pieces and it'll work, but still a pain
Or
in
you
the
can
ass.
just give the title and the album.
Or that, yeah.
There's a lot of options.
Depending on what franchise you're coming from or how much you're into Star Wars, I recommend keeping the Wikipedia open so you can know what I'm talking about most of the time. A better, revised V2 version can be found on AO3. That version also contains the soundtrack links.
So he just
Nope.
keeps updating version 1.
Yeah, he's
While
updating
doing
version 1
2.
while writing version 2.
Why?
That is
I'm
the most
impressed.
unique thing I have ever seen.
Featuring sex as I love how he at the start of his story says this will be rated E for everyone. And then if you go to the AO3 version, categories: female on female, female on male, multi on multi, male on male.
Ew.
Yeah. Oh god. Aged up characters, cameos, sex, PTSD, badass women. Oh no, this is part of a series. Oh no, side story to my series. He's got a spin-off.
Suffer.
He's got spin-offs. Oh no.
Why are people like this?
Oh god. The AO3 has infected him. Wait, he posted that on 18. Wait. He posted the version 2 of his story 17 days later after posting the version 1 of his story on AO3.
That's the thing.
Ow, ooh. Ouch. Ooh, ow. Ooh. He's only got 4 bookmarks.
Wait. How many
Ooh.
kudos? Because that's how people do that shit on AO3.
Kudos. No, so kudos is basically a follow. A bookmark is a favorite.
Okay, but how many kudos?
89 kudos.
80.
4 bookmarks. 89
Get
kudos.
fucked.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, that's rough. Especially of the fact that this dude's updating every 3 days and he still manages to get such a small audience.
Wait. Isley, what the fuck?
Just
Let's
ignore
applaud the
Isley.
moxie.
Just
What's Isley
ignore
doing?
Isley's being Isley. So his latest
Oh.
chapter is
Just ignore Isley.
his latest chapter's got some really riveting story. King Andymon is still looking tired, looking at Neo Queen Serenity were sitting on their throne. 2 royal guard were standing near the door. The trio bowed down and Sun Tzu rose to speak. Wait, fucking what?
Why is Sun Tzu here?
I don't know.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, is there some Sailor Moon lore that I'm not privy to about?
I'm not
The
privy
Warren
to that
Generals?
If you're not
lore
privy
either.
to it, neither am I.
Oh, they summoned. It's Sun Tzu as a girl who's summoned as a fate servant.
You know what? Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked by that information. Yeah, you asked for us, King Endymon. Also, no punctuation. Very interesting. Yes, I did. I fear your actions in Milan could have undesired effect on Tokyo. About that destruction, my king. No, not that. It regarding the safety of Sailor Mars. My safety, King Endymon. You know I can take very well care of myself. Ray chimed in. I do know that, but as for now, Sailor Venus, can I trust you with staying around Sailor Mars for extra protection? Endymon looked over to Minako. Of course, Rei was more dear to Senshi of Love than even her fans were, and Memoru seemed really serious about this. I fear of retribution. A team of commandos is already guarding the shrine while undercover. Yeah. Just undercover guarding a shrine 24/7. That's not gonna fucking tip anyone off. Man, I see that
Weird.
guy in a very clean outfit watching and reading the newspaper every single day near the shrine. Man, he must really like reading a newspaper next to the shrine for 10 hours a day.
It's the same
That just
newspaper every day
hurts to
too.
hear. Sometimes it's upside down.
Oh, God. I'm aware I have different task for you. King? Mamoru sighed. He didn't like what he had to ask loyal warrior to do. Follow me, Sun Tzu. I'll brief you in my private court. Such
Ho, 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 ho.
such a riveting fucking dialogue, man. This is his latest chapter, by the way.
What, seriously? That's the latest shot?
Yeah,
No.
well, no, this is chapter 71 of 116.
Okay, that is not the latest.
It's not the latest, but it's still, pretty
And,
far
and then
into
there's
his
just
work.
Sun Tzu out of.
Yeah, there's just Sun Tzu. Don't
Wait,
worry.
wait,
about it.
wait. Sun Tzu's apartment?
Yeah, don't worry
What?
about it.
Get the fuck out.
Don't worry about it.
Get the fuck out.
Don't worry about it.
Forget about it.
Alright.
Oh wow, yeah, no, chapter 1 is, oh Jesus Christ. Okay, so he has shown massive improvement. However, the bar was 0. So
That's gross to look at. Nope.
the bar was 0, so he has shown massive improvement. So good for him. But otherwise, yeah. Yeah. Just gonna.
Just rolling right along, eh?
Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. We're not doing a Detective Conan story. I do not have the willpower to even try and decipher a 282,000 word Detective Conan Sailor Moon crossover. That it's also a spin-off of another 300,000 word Detective Conan Sailor Moon crossover.
Jesus Christ.
8 favorites.
Wow.
Just remember, if you think your story is not getting enough attention, just remember there are people out here writing multi-100,000 word stories and getting 4 people to look at it.
So much passion goes into stuff like that, and all I can think is, you should have put that in something original, because at least you could have made a few cents.
Yeah, you would have at least
Yeah.
gotten a little bit out of it. Gravity Falls, Sailor Moon, Shadow Knights! Rei, Sailor Mars and mysterious ally are both on dangerous quest together to find lost past that could hold key to future. But forces of evil are in hot pursuit, and now it's up to their friends and the Mystery Shack investigators and the Sailor Senshi and Mask to find them before they do. What I'm sorry, we're really going to include the Mystery Shack investigators and the Sailor Senshi on the same power level?
I never saw Gravity Falls, so I have no idea what that's talking about.
Alright, so the Mystery Shack is the business that the grandfather owns that everyone works at in the show.
It's where he takes the small children for the Catholic Church.
Oh, gotcha. Does this smell like chloroform?
Yes, actually. Anyway, they actually had a great moment of that. I believe. I think it was in a King Kong live action movie.
What?
Right. So basically, Hollywood chloroform does not work like how chloroform works. Chloroforming someone normally, would effectively knock them unconscious anyway from lack of air, not because of the chloroform on the rag. And
I said,
Yeah, and so in the live action King Kong movie I was watching, the main character tries to chloroform a guard, doing the whole "does it smell like chloroform?" And the guard's like, "Yes, actually. Where did you get that all?" And he's just like, shit."
Nice.
That's what's
Was
supposed to work.
it the King Kong movie with Jack Black?
It might have been.
Yeah, it had to have been. That sounds like something he'd do.
It was a pretty funny joke, and I was just like, nice.
Now, I mean, like, how do we say it? There isn't no reason to use the like the chloroform will keep them knocked the fuck out longer.
Actually, not really. Chloroform, when it's not isolated to open air environments, such as your lungs in a non-closed circuit. So, if they have like a gas mask over you feeding you chloroform, yes. But it quickly breaks down and dissipates otherwise. So, yeah, pretty much everything that Hollywood says how chloroform works is not how chloroform works. Like, at all.
You mean Hollywood lied to me?
Yeah, Hollywood lies to people. I know this is a heavy, batch of knowledge to carry on your shoulders, but
My God, I'm so disillusioned right now.
yes, as you should be. We have Limbo Queen, the Moon Princess, a X-Men Sailor Moon crossover. As their battle against the Dark Kingdom rages on, the Sailor Guardians finally find the Moon Princess they've sworn to protect. But this princess of a kingdom from the heavens already rules hell. What character from X-Men rules hell?
Shit.
And
I don't
is
know.
female.
That chick with the dragon from the newer movie? Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
You know, the blonde Russian chick. Fuck, hang on.
When two worlds meet, what the actual fuck? Makoto Kino and her friends were in the process of enjoying their evil-free world. But, like one always tends to show up unexpectedly. What? However, with this new foe, will the girls handle it or will they need outside help? Wait, so we're talking about post Sailor Moon? Literally, galaxy destroying threats have been defeated? Unless they've lost their Sailor Senshi powers, I'm not really sure how anything that could show up on Earth from Supernatural could possibly be a threat. Unless it's literally God.
Even then, that's toss up.
Well, no, because God and Supernatural literally can snap you out of existence.
Sailor
And
Moon
will if you insult this fanfiction.
existence. In-game Sailor Moon can snap you out of existence.
Yeah, except for the part where in Supernatural, literally everything only works because God says it does.
Yeah, but if he's coming here, he's obviously in another dimension, so
No,
he's
it
rules, baby.
looks like it's a crossover of a fusion world.
Oh,
Because
okay.
yeah, because the Winchester brothers show up to save the day. So
Well, the chick I was talking about is Magic. Ileana Rasputina.
okay. Yeah.
The one from New Mutants,
Yeah,
that new movie.
Rasputina. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Alright, copy. And paste a Reno. I shall inflict this upon you.
Please don't.
Too late. Chocolate milkshake with her spoon. She was bummed and once again witnessed another argument. Usagi and the American version of Ray. Okay.
Alright then.
Alright. So, we're going with the 4 kids route. Interesting. Abruptly,
That's
Makoto
awful.
slammed her hand down on the table, told them to act like adults, blah blah blah, looked up in the sky, a storm's coming in, possibly flooding. She verbalized to no one in particular.
I fear
It
that
broke his
Sneaky's
brain.
broken. Well, show's
Hello?
over,
Maybe it
everybody
was
go
the
home.
alcohol.
Hello?
He's drinking too
Nope.
much.
It's such a shame.
Hello?
We can't hear him at all, and he's broken, so we can all go home, boys.
And here I was, gonna
Yep.
pay Atin, but I guess not.
Oh.
I mean, it's just a shame. We'll just all have to go home, boys.
Wait, how much money?
It looks like a huge one. Well, he's only getting paid $20, so I mean, it's not really that much of an incentive.
$20 is $20.
That's fair enough.
No,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
there are some things that I won't do $20 for.
That's what Nose says when he smacks his lips together.
I need to die.
No, it's fine. How's your story going?
On the way home, Makoto reflected on how much the girls overcame, including herself. They literally beat all of the threats ever. Lightning storm, blah blah blah. It was a giant purple swirly hurricane.
No.
There stood a perplexed, handsome man. It was Dean Winchester. I think the author might be.
Delete this fanfiction.
What came
Delete
next
it. Wipe it
made
off the face of the
Makoto
earth.
jump out of her skin by his grunting, angry tone. That he yelled out.
No. Delete it.
Oh, so you know what? I do have a funny little story about the early parts of Supernatural. So whenever I watch shows, I'm pretty much dead silent. But if I ever watch shows with other people, I will just keep a running commentary of the entire show.
Oh, you're one of those faggots.
Oh, God.
Also, I'm shocked that Atin said naughty words.
Oh, I hate those kinds of people so much. My brain was just like, use the bad word. Use the bad word to express your displeasure.
Exactly.
But yeah, no. So,
all right, so that's one that Sneaky gets to say, and I don't get to say anything about.
Yeah. So back in the day, I accidentally spilled water on my computer because I had punched my glass filled with water across the room.
Why did you do that?
Because I was trying to reach for my phone.
Supernatural.
No, so I was trying to reach for my phone, and I accidentally punched my glass of water into my computer. And that spilled water all the way down the motherboard into the GPU slot and fried the GPU.
Computer gore.
Yeah,
Stop
that's
talking,
fine.
that's computer gore.
And so I was like, ah, shit. And so I had to order a bunch of new computer parts. But what that caused is it caused me to wheel out the old E-machine.
Oh God.
Yeah, well, not the old E-machine, actually. The machine before the E-machine, because the E-machine caught fire.
Was it a gateway?
It was a gateway.
They just
it was
won't
actually
die.
it was actually even yeah, it was actually even it used ribbons instead of cables.
Mhm.
And I believe it was still running XP. Yeah, I think it was XP. Yeah.
Oh, then you fire that bad boy up today and it'll still work.
Yeah. That thing was a I don't know how it was still working, and that computer I believe is like 27 years old now. Yeah, it's old. the fan for the CPU was about half the size of the computer case. And that's just how inefficient
I
shit
bet
was
that
back
thing
then.
sounded like a jet at takeoff.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. But so anyway, I fired that thing up because I was like, well, like fuck, I'm gonna sit here and not play video games on my perfectly good. That's what it was. It was the summer break. I believe in my first year of college where I actually came home, and I didn't come home any break after that. But my sister was also home at that time period. And so I set up in the basement using the pool table as my computer desk with this old ratchety ass computer and a CRT monitor. To play
Started playing Dota and you
to
met
play
fear.
Sunny 2. I don't know if anyone even knows what I'm talking about when I say Sunny 2, but I played a bunch of Sunny
I have
2.
no knowledge.
It's a very old Flash game. A very old Flash game. In fact, it's so old. In 2012, Sunny 2. Did Sunny 2 come out in 2012? Do you remember Armor games?
I recall this
Yeah.
place.
That didn't sound like cursed knowledge, but
It is, I assure you.
Yeah, it is. Sunny 2 come out. Sunny originally came out. Fuck, when did this game come out? Like, this is like a super fucking old game, and here we go. 2007. Sunny 1 was released, and Sunny 2 came out 2012, I believe. It was 5 years later. Uh, 2008, sorry, so 1 year later. So actually, so Sunny 2 came out a year later after Sunny 1 because people really fucking like this game. Back in the day, Sunny and Sunny 2 were the shit. They were on the top page of Armor games. It was the game you played while you were in school. It was a turn-based zombie class, custom build shooter sort of shit. It was a very fun game, kind of interesting plot. And then we waited forever for Sunny 3, and the developer kept saying he was totally going to come out with Sunny 3. Then he finally came out with Sunny 2017, which was Sunny 1, but released on Steam and worse. And then he charged everyone like $15 for it. And he said, "Trust me, guys, it's totally coming out." And then Sunny 3 still isn't out now in the year of our Lord 2022. So,
Dude may legit be dead, to be fair.
no, he's still posting, I believe.
Oh, well, if he's still posting, fuck him then. Where's the
He
game?
took the money and ran.
Where's the game?
Wait, hold on.
He took the money and ran to Barbados.
The first website Kieran made was Kieran Labs, which was put up in 2010. So this is 2 years after this massive success of Sunny 2. 2 years later, he made something called Kieran Labs, which was a website where you could interact with him, his games, keep up with him on his blog, and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then he made a second website called Kieran Studio, where he tried to briefly expand out and recapture everyone's incessant need for a Sunny 3. Both websites are now offline, with the only way to access them being the Wayback Machine. Both have blogs made by Kieran that discuss the game he developed and forums for his game, which included Sunny. So yeah, Kieran actually did go on to make a bunch of other games. But no one really ever played them. Like, Sunny was what he was known for. Sunny 2 was what he was known for. Sid Ninja was kind of good, but no one really. It was like kind of like past the era of playing Flash games in your school because everyone was now in college, and they didn't really need to hide that they weren't paying attention to the professor anymore. So they didn't really need to play a Flash game anymore. So it was a decent game that basically no one played.
Bit too young for that.
Yeah. Well, the age of Flash games also sort of ended because everyone now had smartphones and shit. I'm talking like, back in 2008 when you had a flip phone and the best you had for games on it was Snake.
Was that the age of the flip phone?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so old.
Yeah.
Yeah, smartphones were like only really started to come
Remember
around.
the Razor?
Yes.
Yes,
I
I do.
recall the Razor with great fondness.
Remember the Nokia brick?
Yes,
wait.
and I
What
owned one.
razor? The fuck's a razor?
Ah, yep, there
Sonny-
we go.
Sonny,
That's the reaction.
I will beat you, black and blue boy.
Okay, old people, what's fucking a razor?
It's a phone. It's one of the first flip phones.
Yeah, so ever since 2013, he's been saying he's totally coming out with Sunny 3, guys. Please stop bothering me. I'm definitely gonna do it now. You all bothered me and you completely ignored all of my other games. I swear I'm totally coming out with Sunny 3. This was back in 2013.
man's dead.
damn.
It's unknown why Kieran canceled Sunny 3, but something happened between him and his developers between 2014 and 2015, and then on 2016 he answered an interview by Armor Games where he spoke about Sunny 2017. Seeing how many aspects of the game ended up in 2017, such as rebooting the story, the game mechanics, the switch to Unity, and a mobile port, it can be concluded that the game over time evolved into it. I'm gonna say more like it can be concluded that he tried to scrape together something after he pissed off all of his developers.
Sounds about right.
Hey man, it just seems like we've kind of taken the money and run.
Exactly.
Kieran is still alive. I haven't heard of the cancer thing. He did email a guy who was making Sunny 3 fan game in 2019. There's a legit update on his Facebook regarding him fighting cancer. Oh, I think he might be dead.
Faked his own death to make out for the money.
he might be dead, guys.
I'm sorry, scroll down. When was that comment from? Did that say
2021.
2021?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
February
no, it's not his
21.
fault.
Yeah,
He should have come out with it by then.
yeah. 7
Lazy
years.
bastard.
It's a fucking Flash game. No one was expecting anything big. Everyone just wanted the same mechanics again and a continuation of the story. No one was expecting a AAA, a AA, or even a single A game. They just wanted a game. But anyway, so
Or even a single A.
dragging it all the way back to what the point is. So I was playing Sunny on this old ass PC because that's basically the only thing I could play. I tried playing video games on it, and then I was like, holy shit, I forgot how slow PCs were back in 2002.
For 2002, they weren't actually slow.
Well, compared to the shit we do nowadays, they are.
Oh, absolutely. Slower than your fucking phone.
Anyway, so I'm playing on there. My sister comes down. She starts watching Supernatural, and I'm sort of watching Supernatural because it's there. It's in front of me. It's moving colors and sounds, and my ADHD brain is just like, hey, look at the thing over there! I'm like, God fucking damn it, brain. I don't care about her Vampire Diaries, but with two brothers instead. But, then I ended up watching the whole 15, 17 seasons. But anyway, point being is that I made lots of comments as my sister's trying to watch the show, both to annoy her and just as a general commentary of what was happening in the show. I would be like, oh, wow, that angel looks ugly as shit. And then Dean would go, oh, wow, that angel looks ugly as shit. And I'm just like, fuck. Now I might have to watch the show.
It's pretty based.
And it was, my sister was starting to get really angry at me because she's like, are you watching this show before I do when I come down here every day? I'm like, no. I only
That'd be
watch it when
fucking
you do.
hilarious.
Why would I do that?
I'm just sitting here making fucking commentary, and it just so happens that the main character of the story is also having the same opinions of me of the villains. And I'm talking about, like, the exact same shit. Multiple times, I would say commentary on something Sam was doing or the villain was doing, and then Dean would make the exact same commentary, and I'm just like, damn. Alright, fine. Dean's convinced me, I'll watch the show. And honestly, that show was pretty much held together by Dean. Almost nothing else of that show was redeemable.
Crowley was good too.
Huh?
Crowley.
Oh, Crowley, right. Yeah, no, when Crowley came in, that's when I was actually invested in the show.
To be fair, when they first put Crowley in, fantastic. 10 out of 10.
Oh, like, all of the seasons with Crowley in it, that didn't have, up until the Leviathan arc, were great.
And even without Crowley, was still one of the better characters on the series.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what they were doing with the final episode. I don't know if you ever saw it, Sign, but the final episode was so
Yes, I did. It's the one where God gets depowered. There is no episode after that.
There is no episode after that. They rode
there
off
is
into the
not.
sunset and nothing else happened. Yeah, exactly.
That is literally how I stopped it, because I read a synopsis of what was supposed to happen after that, and I'm like, no, I'm not letting them fucking ruin this for me.
Yeah,
This is the good ending. This is where it stops.
And I legitimately was sitting there smoking my cigar. I finished the episode and I was like, man, that was such a great fucking series. God damn. And then it's like now loading next episode. I'm like, what the fuck? Next episode?
What do you mean next episode?
Like, that was the end of the series. That was the final episode. And they're like,
Listen,
no,
listen.
one more. I'm like, what
Japan
the fuck?
understands that after you kill God, record stops.
Yep.
Also, that was a genuinely great way to end the God arc. It really was.
Well, no. It would have been better if they both put a fucking bullet in him. But it was good where it was.
Yeah, but like narratively, it was good. Like the whole
Oh, yeah,
oh,
narratively,
you
sure.
wanted to be a big important guy. You wanted to be finished off by your heroes. Well, fuck you. You're actually going to die forgotten with nothing. It's like, damn.
I get that, but on the other hand, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Okay, you want to go down? Here's how you go down. And then shotgun to the face. Or rather, that 1911 to the face.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I do have to ask, why did you make that?
Because he likes his MacGuffins.
Which one? The Equalizer?
I think he's talking about the Equalizer.
Because the entire thing was to get one of the boys to kill Jack and kill himself at the same time. That way, God wouldn't die.
Yeah.
Which was just fucking dumb.
Oh god, the Razer flip phone where they're like, guys, it's a flip phone, but also it's a touch phone. Look, you can flip it out into a touch phone. It was so fucking bad.
They've already come out and said the screens on the flip phones like this don't fucking work because they get a crease in the middle, and
Yeah.
it completely just fucks it up.
Yep.
Oh god.
Love the concept. We are not at the point where we should be putting that on the consumer market like that yet.
No.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so Dean shows up. Yeah, so this is not actually a fusion world. This is, in fact, Dean gets punted into this world.
So does he do like Scooby Natural and go, oh my god, that's Sailor Moon? Shit, yes?
No, come on, man. You really think Dean would have watched anything anime that isn't hentai?
No, listen, I think he
yes,
would know.
yes.
I think he would know. He'd be like, oh, I recognize her. She's in this one hentai that I watch.
That's fair. You know what? It would actually be like that. No, have you guys seen that Overwatch meme that went around?
No.
Yes.
It's the guy who has never played Overwatch before, and he's like, wait a second, watch. I'm going to name all the Overwatch characters, and the only Overwatch characters he can name is the girls.
Of course.
Of course.
Fair.
That was amusing.
Wait,
Oh
Zenyatta's
my
a girl?
God, name
Yeah,
Overwatch
but I didn't
characters.
fuck her. I didn't jack off to her. Yeah.
It's funny because porn.
You're describing me, goddammit.
Don't send me porn of Overwatch. I was there when the scrolls were written.
Do not quote. Do not quote the.
Do not
use
quote the
word
ancient
me.
texts to me, boy.
I was there when they were written. Fucking
So anyway,
problem.
he what the fuck? Then the man picked himself up and dusted off his clothes. Period. He looked around at this new domain that he'd been transported to. He searched
he become the
underneath his
king?
shirt tail to make sure his liable gun was still there.
His liable gun?
Yeah,
what
his
now?
liable gun.
It's the gun that he's legally liable for.
I was about to
obviously.
say it's his gun for any liabilities that come up, so he could just shoot
It's-
them.
It's the one that didn't get lost in a tragic boating accident.
Indeed, yes. Did you hear in California you can only own one gun now?
What?
But that only applies if you report all of the guns to them.
Now,
Now,
does a
we're-
grenade launcher qualify as one gun? Because if so, I could be okay with that.
I actually believe that
No.
counts as an incendiary device.
No,
it
it's an
counts as an
explosive
incendiary.
device.
Excellent.
It's an explosive device. Unless it's a 39mm grenade launcher specifically made as a flare gun, then it's an incendiary device.
That's fair.
I feel like
Ah.
at that point
It's a
there's other
gun
problems.
device.
And then that's
So
when
I
you
just-
slam the that's when you slam the explosives into
Exactly.
it.
You see, first, I launch the white phosphorus flare to see where I'm looking. Then I load the fun rounds.
I can't help that it hit him, Your Honor. I had no
Your
idea
Honor,
what
I
was aiming.
can't help that the white phosphorus flare hit him directly in the chest cavity.
Directly in the crotch.
No, dude, that's too cruel.
That's
Not
too
with white
cruel.
phosphorus, bro.
Yes,
Bro,
white
that's white
phosphorus.
Have some standards, you German.
I am a monster. It's going right to the crotch, and I'm going to laugh.
999.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I didn't mean to sharpen the flare into a shank before I stabbed him with it. It just happened that way. There was nothing improvised about my weaponry. Excuse
Your
me,
Honor.
Your Honor.
There was nothing improvised about this.
I'm playing it extensively.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Improvised implies that I did not plan extensively for this. Those bombs were quite professionally made.
Take umbrage with the implication that they're not up to professional standards.
I'll have
Excuse
you know,
I am
I
an artist.
graduated from the Ted Bundy School.
Bruh. Bruh.
Cue the vans. Cue the party vans.
I'm hilarious.
Now comes a knock at your door.
However, he came to realize his liable gun was not there. Son of a bitch. Posterior, he saw a girl who had witnessed his movements.
You just say posterior as a swear?
Yes.
I guess.
Huh?
This is what the author wrote. The panic
Posterior.
feeling.
I don't know what he's trying to say.
The panic feeling began to flood the miss, as her eyes clearly shown this. Miss, you all right? The man asked as he waved his hand to get her awareness. The woman was tall and slender. She had on white capris, an orange top with tan slip-on shoes. Her long brunette hair. I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen as I read each word, like anyone can fucking see me.
Because we're watching you on
Use a
webcam,
speech and
obviously.
spell.
That'll work.
Her long brunette hair was put back in a turquoise clip, semicolon, her bangs were in front of her face. Why?
The way this is written is
Suffer.
so weird.
Like somebody with a 6th grade education wrote it.
Probably.
So most fanfiction
I
authors.
don't
Gotcha.
understand what
I mean-
so this woman's description is she's got brown hair and fairly generic clothes on,
Yep.
and Dean goes, "Oh my god, what world am I in?"
Like the way this is written, I have to say, like they have at least some. I want to say they kind of have some level of grammar control, just very poorly worded.
Well, no, their
But-
grammar's fucking garbage.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can see what they're trying to say, but it's like this could have been worded so much better.
And then Makoto starts hitting on Dean. And for some reason they can talk to each other.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. A few blocks later, she brought him to her apartment, and then she unlocked the apartment, and then she entered the apartment, and then she turned on the light to her apartment, and then she walked into her apartment, and then she
Don't chase this author.
then she told him he could come into the apartment, and then she put her keys down inside the apartment and examined her apartment, and then he entered the apartment and he
Why
looked
is she
at the
examining it
apartment
when she lives there?
because she did.
Intruders.
And then he entered the apartment, and then he examined the apartment, and now he's describing the apartment to you, and he's still describing the apartment to you, and it was a very small apartment, and it had some stuff in the apartment, but it was still an apartment that was quite small, with a lot of things really packed together because it was small and it was an apartment. And he's like, wow,
Japan.
you live here? And she's like, yeah, I live here alone with myself.
I live here alone with absolutely no one.
Yeah.
And
No,
then,
I wish
I'd
to.
hear me if I screamed.
and then she went into the kitchen, and then now that she's in the kitchen, she took out the pots and pans, and then she went to the fridge, and then she took items out of the fridge, and then she thought about how to cook stuff, and then she thought about how to cook stuff, and then she kept thinking about how to cook things, and then Dean's like, so what are you gonna cook? And she's like, oh, well, I'll just cook beef stew.
In
More
Japan.
power to you.
Well, yeah, they love beef stew in Japan. They put it over rice.
That's not beef stew, Sneaky.
Sneaky.
What do you mean it's not beef stew?
Oh, they do have beef stew though. It's just meat and potatoes. Just stew.
Yeah, but
Just a
come
plain
on.
ass stew.
They put it
If
over
you're
rice.
just gonna do if
Sneaky, you're
gonna
thinking
do
of curry.
Japan, yeah, you do curry.
Oh man, I could go for
Yeah, I think stew over rice is something that you see more in the South here in the States. I don't know if
Yeah.
Japan's aware of that.
Well, I
the
mean,
thing.
see, I just assumed that was what they did too, because I know of the stew over rice thing, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's great if it's great if the stock is thick enough too.
well,
Yes.
yeah, you gotta burn down the water a bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
then you get a nice
That's a
thick,
roux, yes.
yeah, fucking good.
And I'll go ahead and admit it, I can't stand most Louisiana food. I don't eat that shit.
Isn't Louisiana food just like French garbage?
No. The French
No.
have no spices whatsoever.
Oh, fair enough.
Uh,
Okay, to be fair, I am a guy who puts ghost pepper sauce on my food.
You'd fit in down here.
Thank you. I bought it in Florida from a guy.
Oh, from Florida, man. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes. Florida.
Listen, I wouldn't trust anything from Florida Man. It may contain questionable substances.
That's the best part.
Meth, yes. It's probably meth.
That's the best part. But don't worry, I was taking meth my entire childhood. I'm already immune to it.
Well, it is what's in
Sneaky, based on what you've told me about your body's reaction to it, you're not immune to it.
No, it just makes me go into a murderous rage, but don't worry about that part.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're immune to it. That means you're very much affected by it.
Nah. It's
Just
not.
in a bad
Sneaky.
way.
Not only are you affected by it, you are highly
Adversely
affected by it.
affected.
Nah. The murderous rage, it's cool.
Well, I thought murderous rage was his normal state of
It's
mind.
fine. Don't worry
No,
about it.
no, you have to work him up to a murderous rage most of the time.
You actually have to really try to work me into a murderous rage.
Okay, so the Adderall just skips all those steps.
Yeah, pretty much.
How to speedrun?
Any percent.
How to speedrun any percent death. Yeah, no, I did have one good story. Is yeah, keep in mind, I was like lanky and really small until like second year of high school. Then I was really tall and still pretty lanky. But no one fucked with me because
Reasons.
well, no, I when some people fucked with me and
They would die.
I sent them to the hospital.
Everyone very quickly learned to not fuck with Sneaky after the incident in question.
Well, and then one of my friends thought he was being funny, and then threw salt in my eyes.
What?
Oh yeah, because that's
You
hilarious.
had shitty friends, bro.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I proceeded to rush into the bathroom and wash the salt out of my eyes, and then I grabbed like 12 packets of salt and poured them all in my hand, and then I took the back of his head and smashed it into the table, and then ripped off his glasses, and then jammed my fingers into his eyes as I rubbed the salt in.
Jesus Christ.
And not a single fucking person stopped me, and there was at least 20 people around me.
There is
Yep.
such a thing as a disproportionate response, sir.
No, there's not. There's only
Sneaky does not believe in this.
There is no such thing as a disproportionate
I
response.
can tell you from multiple conversations Sneaky and I have had, both political, benign, and just everything in between. He does not believe that disproportional exists when it comes to responses.
Yes, exactly.
Nuclear is always
If
an
you
option.
slight this man, he will send a McNuke at you.
I will absolutely acquire a nuclear missile and send it in your direction.
What is a McNuke? I have to know.
What do you mean?
It's a nuke off the dollar menu.
Yeah, that's literally what the joke is. So McNukes are the idea that the average person can own a nuke and then everyone's pointing nukes at each other because they're neighbors.
It's like Californium rounds.
It's supposed to be like, oh, it's mutual destruction. I can word.
Mutually assured destruction,
Thank you.
also known as MAD.
Yeah.
Yes.
How drink are you?
Yes.
How drink, yes.
How many beers you into?
Ha! You
How many
assume I am
beers
doing
Five.
beer.
I
assume
it's 5.
Nose is into beer.
That's fair.
I know you don't drink beer.
I don't.
I drink beer because I actually like some of the tastes of some of the beer.
How can you like
You
the taste
monster.
of beer?
I just like
Horse
I
piss.
always knew you were a bad person.
I like certain beers. I don't like all beers. For instance,
Well, I swear to
fucking-
fucking God, if you say Pabst Blue Ribbon, I will
Oh, no,
literally
Pab-
bomb Boston.
Pabst Blue Ribbon fucking sucks, dude.
No, he drinks Miller High Life.
He
No.
drinks Miller.
I usually just drink fucking Sam Adams and shit. That's
Oh, you're one of
basically
those
it.
chorus fuckers.
Knows I like
Worst-
beer. The rest of the VC perish.
Dude, I do not drink the carbonated piss, okay? I don't drink that bad beer.
Okay.
Corona can suck my fucking dick, dude. Fuck Corona.
Dos Equis.
No.
Also,
no.
apparently, Makoto is Southern because she says, "I thought about fixing you up a pie. Not sure what flavor. Gonna have to see what I can whip up."
Oh god, they don't understand the Kansai accent. Fucking hell.
No,
they don't.
I understand why the Kansai accent is translated Southern. It's because they slur their words the same way we do in the South.
It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same.
It is, though. They slur their words almost the exact same way that we do.
They slur them all, yes, and you can hear the difference, but it is not the same.
It's the closest that an
It-
American can
it-
localize
yeah,
it.
it-
I'm
yeah,
sorry to
it's
tell
the
you.
closest the American
Saying it,
localize
it's
yeah.
always some mealy-mouthed motherfucker with their dick up their ass trying to make a southern accent, but doing it completely wrong.
That's
Oh,
fair.
God bless his heart, y'all. No, that's
Oh,
not how that
listen, you're
goes.
not wrong when they fuck up the Southern accent, but it's still the most accurate accent we can imagine as far as states localization goes.
Got
I
me
don't know
goddamn hot
what
in
the
the
fuck
collar.
the English do.
I will never
We don't
forget
talk
the
about it.
part where I walked into a southern restaurant for breakfast. It was a breakfast nook. And they had their special was sausage, gravy, and biscuits. And I'm just like, well, how is that a meal? And she's like, just order it and see.
Oh,
Okay.
oh yeah, you sent me a
Okay.
picture of that. Like, what are these
And
portion sizes?
It was just a fucking plate the size of my chest with like
Yep.
6 biscuits and a little mound of gravy and sausage in it.
Yep.
And I'm just like, this
Yeah.
is the greatest fucking breakfast I will ever consume.
Welcome to the South. Here's your side grits.
Now, is this in Texas?
No, it's
No.
Florida.
In
Yeah, that sounds like
Florida.
Florida.
Get-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Florida's still Southern as much as I hate to admit it.
If it were in
It's
Texas,
Florida.
it would have
Yeah,
barely.
and get close
total.
enough to the border, go out into the countryside or what little countryside exists in Florida, and you'll find some Southern restaurants.
I feel like Florida is the worst parts of this fucking
Oh,
East Coast.
Alabama is the worst parts of the South.
No, it's the
Okay.
worst part of the
Oh, wow.
South and the East Coast.
And
That's
Louisiana,
what's-
followed by.
Hey, you take that back.
No. What are you gonna do? Start a
Yes.
civil war?
Yes.
Beat your ass once and we're gonna beat
Oh,
it again!
again.
Bend over, boy! We're about to liberate your
Oh.
bank account!
Look, we ain't dealing with no corrupt bankers this time, goddammit.
I will go find me a Sherman. I will
The
burn
That's-
down
that's
Atlanta
all-
again.
That's only gonna work in Georgia. He's in Louisiana, you fucking.
Hey, well, no, he burned his way through Louisiana.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yes, sadly.
He burned his way all the way from Texas to Georgia.
He was kind of an asshole. People like to praise him, but you forget he burned down a swath of cities and towns all across the fucking South. The man was a monster.
The best part about him burning down those places is he didn't even let his soldiers loot. And it's so fucking funny because it's like everyone's like, oh yeah, but he didn't let his soldiers loot. It's like, yeah, he didn't let his soldiers loot because he said that would take too long. So he ordered his soldiers to loot as much wood as possible so they could board up the doors and windows of the homes before letting them on fire.
It was a complete fucking massacre, yes.
It was like,
He was
Jesus
Pissed about
Christ.
this.
He
Never
was
heard
a really bad person.
I have
Although
Yes.
never heard anyone praise him.
Oh, no,
Well, okay.
I've heard people praise him.
okay,
Oh,
so here's the
Lord.
thing.
All the history books
Technically, he wasn't as bad as a lot of people because he gave what 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, he did tell people to leave.
Like, I'm not saying he was a good person, but like he wasn't a complete inhuman monster.
There were a lot of psychopaths.
Oh, he also
in,
didn't let his guys rape,
armies.
so there is that small difference.
Let.
That was
It's
say,
what
and let's be
happened.
clear. Let's be clear. There were certainly opportunities where he could have just been like, "Yeah, do whatever," but he was like, "I will have you shot."
Yeah, that is fair. That happened on both sides, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of rape.
It's like, yeah, but there was a lot of gentlemen's agreements. Like, okay, yeah, we're gonna kill each other, but if you fucking do anything outside of that, I will shoot you myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
You see that man across the field from you? Do whatever it takes to kill him. But you walk into that town, you're a gentleman, unless we're burning it to the ground.
Exactly. It just happened that they were burning most of them to the ground.
And while you're in there burning it to the ground, you will still behave as a gentleman. Just, one who's burning the whole place down.
Mind your manners. Yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
Remember, boys, it's burn. No pillage,
All right.
no rape.
All right, boys.
Now, gentlemen, I want you to remember what the name of this town is. Birmingham? No, Birmingham.
I will still never not laugh at the idea of the flamethrower Sherman, because I'm just like,
Whoever made that was a sick person.
whoever made that made the soul of Sherman ever stronger.
Please stop making Sherman stronger. He's coming back.
The bars can't hold him much longer.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure Sherman said at the end of it, he fought on the wrong side.
Probably.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And he regretted it strongly.
I would not be
If you
surprised
said
at
it,
all.
if you said it and regretted it, then yeah.
No, he regretted fighting on the Union side, is what he's saying.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yes.
That I'm definitely gonna need a source for that.
Yeah, that just citation needed.
The source is my ass!
I
My
don't take that as a
sources, I made
source.
it
I'm
the
sorry to
fuck
tell
up.
you.
I don't know. It's been cited at least 9 times.
I mean, it's certainly a well-used source, but
We all know the status on well-used sources. They're not considered actual sources.
Yeah, I
was-
can't see any.
that was a completely different joke that just went over Nose's head. But
I was making a
I,
different joke.
I am also
Aside from the joke of that.
amused by the idea that Sherman was like, dude, we're going to need at least 200,000 people to fight this civil war. And everyone's like, dude, Sherman, you're fucking insane. Get the fuck out of here. Go to fucking California. No one wants to talk
what were
to
those
you.
final estimation casualties?
Oh, like literally 1,000,000 or something.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, like 5 times what he said.
5 times, like their casualties were 5 times what he said would be needed to fight, and everyone thought he was crazy for thinking we needed that many people. And so we literally sent him out to the fucking coast, and then he's like, "All right, I captured the coast. I'm now gonna burn my way back to the other coast." And it's like,
I
Jesus
have
Christ.
captured the coast. As I require new orders, I'll be making my way downtown.
Walking fast, burning a little bit.
Sounds about right.
Anyway, so
Sir, we don't have any orders. That's okay. We have ammo. What do you mean? Well, we're supposed to use this ammo, aren't we?
That's actually a good line. Sir, we don't have orders. That's okay. We have ammo.
Do you see that
There's
small
so-
hamlet over there?
Oh,
Yes,
there's
sir.
so many
I no
things
longer
that
wish
could be
to.
used in.
There is so much that could actually be great
I-
lines for.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
yes.
I want to say that in a fucking fuck, dude. That's
Dude,
like
There's an Imperial Guard general line.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's probably some D&D player's line when they somehow manage to get control of an army.
We don't need orders. We have
That's a
him.
Tanya line.
That is a Tanya. I want to see that in the Tanya story. Sign,
That'll
make it
happen.
happen.
It's happening now.
But writing has begun. Worry not.
Don't worry about it.
But
Don't worry, you are being rescued. Please do not resist. Fire 300 rounds.
Oh god. So she cooked the meal for Dean, and Dean ate it so Dean ate the meal so hard he forgot grammar and quote marks existed.
All right, hey, here's a question
Nice.
for you.
Yeah.
What'll it cost, what'll it cost me to get the Caiaphas Cain Saga of Tanya the Evil crossover?
The same amount of money anything else
What?
costs you.
Fair.
I have no idea whatever that first one was.
Caiaphas Cain is a Imperial Inquisitor from 40K.
No, Commissar.
Commissar.
N-
My bad.
Him as an Inquisitor would be a terrible idea.
That would be a great idea.
No, it'd be a
Why
great
would it
idea,
be
dude.
terrible?
Abuse of authority.
You act like that isn't the MO for
Bruh,
Inquisitors anyway?
bruh, question mark?
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Abuse of authority to do nothing but whoring and drinking.
You act like that's a negative!
Excuse me?
Do you
Most
really-
Inquisitors
no,
at
no, no,
least
no, no,
nominally
Atin.
try to keep the
At-
Imperium safe.
Yeah, and if the Imperium isn't safe, then he can't whore and drink.
So he's keeping it super safe.
Yeah. Also, bruh. Oh, these Inquisitors try to help keep the peace. Bruh?
I said they help the Imperium. I didn't say shit about helping people.
Anyway, do you realize that is
Help
what
the
the
Imperium?
governor of New Jersey ran on as a platform for like 16 years?
Huh?
Right,
That's
so
the-
in New Jersey, we just kind of accepted that all of our political officials are corrupt as shit, and we just voted this guy into office every single 4 years. You know, vote after vote after vote, because all he did was whore and drink. And we were like, well, at least he's only whoring and drinking.
He's not working for the mob.
Fair enough. Wasn't there one that just recently released his own sex tape ahead of his election?
Yeah, that was the New York guy who's gay and wants to make it so that gay people can have sex with children.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
So, yeah. Anyway.
New York is an interesting place.
Oh, where did you come from? Oh, I'm so
Whatever.
sorry for asking such an insensitive question.
Where did you?
No, it's
What?
okay to ask such a question. I am in your territory.
I am in your territory. Is
What?
this
fucking
Fate
Civ?
Magus is talking?
I don't
Okay.
know. Like, we literally went over their entire dialogue. At no point in time have they acknowledged that either of them are anything besides normal people.
Okay, I get what he's going for. I'm in your country, so of course, It's okay to ask me where the hell I'm from. I don't belong here, obviously.
Yeah,
I ain't from around here.
but still,
But
it's just
fuck
like,
the
I'm not in
voting.
your territory. It's like, what the fuck? Is she part of the Yakuza now?
Are we still operating on the assumption that he doesn't know that he's in Japan?
Yes. Because
Okay.
assumedly,
How?
he's been speaking English this whole time, and so is she.
Well, I mean,
Dean secretly is just an expert weeb. He's watched enough source material.
I would
He
like
would
to see a I have the power of God and anime on my side, Dean Winchester.
yes. Actually, didn't he say something like that in canon?
I don't think so.
Could have sworn.
He might have said I have the power of God on my side.
I forget. Fuck it.
There's the power of Green Lantern and anime on your side.
No.
Hey, butt ass face. Die.
Hey, ass butt.
Ass butt, yeah, that's what it was. An angel was learning how to swear while they were fighting Lucifer, and so the angel, to distract Lucifer, said, "Hey, ass butt," and then threw a Molotov cocktail on his face.
I'm an angel of the Lord.
I'm
Castiel
sorry, what
was great.
angel was this?
Supernatural was a
Castiel.
fucking trip, okay?
It was. Hey, ass butt. They just throws fucking Molotov on. I think it was it Michael or was it Lucifer?
It was Lucifer.
Either way, he was not happy about it.
It was a blessed Molotov, too, so it dealt holy damage.
Holy oil. Oh yeah, he got holy damage. He did not like it.
When the cleric and the alchemist get together on a project, we're about to blaspheme in all the right directions.
Brother, bring me scripture, ye holy hand grenade of Antioch.
We're about to make some holy spirits.
Armaments, page, whatever.
Hello, I cast the most holy spell against you. What's that? Grenade.
Yes.
The most powerful spell of all pulls out gun from pocket. Behold, are you ready to face God?
I have the most powerful weapon of all. What's that? Long range, accurate artillery.
No, he's got the power of God and anime on his side.
Well, yes, that's what we call artillery.
You paint anime girls on your artillery pieces. That's awesome.
Have you not played?
Do you not know what the U.S. Army does?
Yeah, it's fair. I've seen them
There's
tanks.
that, and then there is the
Artillerymen
of
have a
Heroes 2.
very dark sense of humor.
There's
No,
Company of
thank
Heroes
you,
2,
Heroes.
Hearts of Iron 4, if I remember correctly. The fucking anime girls are on guns and tanks.
Oh god, no. The artillerymen have a very dark sense of humor.
Yes.
To whom it may concern, dear grid coordinates.
They're good coordinates.
Who would be concerned? Such a fucking.
That's
good meme.
always a great one. Just put on the bomb, to whom it may concern.
To whom it may concern. Goodbye.
Whom it may concern.
I remember seeing someone wrote Amazon Express on one of the artillery shells.
Yes.
Nice.
I think my favorite so far was a Ukrainian artilleryman who wrote "From Russia with Love."
All right.
That's some good banter.
That's
That's
multi-level
some-
banter.
That's a good bet.
Would have been funnier if it was a Russian artilleryman.
Probably please help us.
It was Ukrainian artillerymen because the Ukrainians were using artillery from Russia, and also Russia was sending all the men to die. So it was multi-layered.
Fair.
Speaking of which, that is also an amazing rap line I never thought I would hear. Never rap against an animator. All of my lyrics are on multi-layers. I was just like, ah, shit. Because animators back in the day used to have multiple panes of running paper so they could do
Yes.
background animation on multiple layers. Good stuff. Back in the day when people tried, effort was done.
Lol.
It's doing some seriously good work on that now.
Wow.
Also, just casually, she's just like, "So what do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I kill things that aren't natural and save people."
Saving
Damn,
people.
you're gonna have a lot of work here in Weebland.
Yeah, no shit.
And then her sailor communicator goes off.
Yo, you know what?
And
I wish
Dean's
Dungeon
still-
Keeper would update.
And Dean's still. Oh yeah, Dungeon Keeper was pretty good. Is that not updated recently? I thought that was still going.
Bro, I don't think it's updated since like last year.
A while.
That's fair. Dungeon Keeper. Dungeon Keeper.
Yeah, I still haven't read that.
It's decent. It's decent if you have time to waste. Oh.
I don't.
Yeah, May 7th of last year. That's yeah, and then December 2nd, it was going really hot in 2016, and then 2017 only had like 5 chapters, and then 2018 had like 2 chapters, and then 2019 had 2 chapters, and 2020 had 4 chapters, 2021. Honestly,
Yeah.
it was a decent story. It kind of just the main issue with the story is that it went on for so long.
Like, here's the thing: the author was just like, "Oh shit, I did this, which means this, which means this, which means this." Like,
That happens, yeah.
I did X, so then Y, but then because then Y, then Z.
Oh, so an update. Speaking of which, since we're talking about everything but the story again, so I was reading that one fan fiction. The game must go on. I've actually finished it officially. I have no interest in reading any of it further. I only finished it specifically to call out the person who said that I should totally read the rest of it because he totally gets better. She is right.
Going to assume it does not get better.
Oh no, she was right. It got better. However, the bar was in fact a 1, and pretty much anything past that point is an improvement. So it's not like the bar was high.
I see.
Still, okay. So chapter 1 compared to chapter 63. Chapter 63 has significantly better sentence structure. However, that being said, it's like upgrading from a wood board with 2 square blocks attached to it that occasionally turn if you get at a really good downhill speed. And you upgrade to a heavily used 2003 compact. Not exactly an upgrade. It's now
Actually, that's a huge upgrade.
It's technically a car now. So yes, it's a huge upgrade in that sense. But it's what you're driving is effectively a money sink. So the sentence structure is still very rough. His dialogue is still these giant text blocks of these people just like talking at each other, doing massive info dumps, and then they play their NPC I am alive character, look at me, I am an alive character animation, and then they go back to doing their info dump again. That's not great. Unfortunately, obviously, it was a gamer story at the start, and because the author decided to go heavy into the numbers, they kind of had to keep going with the numbers, even though they barely mentioned the numbers from maybe, I would say, about chapter 10. They quickly realized that numbers were dumb, and they basically barely you can actually go a chapter without ever seeing anything about numbers. So they definitely learned, but it was a little bit too late. They had already basically poisoned the well of the story's narrative with the numbers, and so everything from then on had to be done with the numbers in mind. And when the author basically had to put the numbers in and then kind of sort of like shuffled them away of like, oh yeah, he was powerful, so we beat them, and then just kind of moved on from there, it really harmed the story's internal consistency and narrative and storytelling ability, because you just constantly had to just accept multiple time skips, multiple just brush offs of like, oh yeah, they just totally beat them because they're like strong and stuff. Like, just don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the stats. I know, like, I made a big deal about those the entirety of the opening part of the story, but don't worry about that anymore. They totally beat them. It doesn't. Their stats don't matter. And so, like, that normally would have.
Fanfiction where the rules are made up and the
Well, see, like
Which
that
don't matter.
normally would have been fine, except he spent basically 80k words making such a big deal about it as the opening section of the story. And so it's like, okay, well, it's not a big deal anymore, but you still have to make a deal about it, but then you also have to brush it off at the same time because it gets in the way of you actually telling the story. And so it's a lot of negative points for that. A lot of negative points on the dialogue. The sentence structure, like I said before, is better, but it's still fucked up at times, and it's just kind of really awkward sentences occasionally where you're just like, why? He uses words that don't exist occasionally, because their past tense or their plural form is different. Like, he doesn't ever use this in the story, but I'll use this as an example. It's like when you use octopuses to mean multiple octopi instead of using
That's not
octopi.
No.
And he'll
That's
do that.
Not how
Rare
that
knows.
works.
Yeah, he'll do that quite often with a lot of the words that don't like ed isn't how they mean past tense. Like the word actually changes if it's past tense. He'll just do readed instead of read, you know.
My soul.
Yeah. And he has a beta. And I also left a note for the beta in my review saying they should do less reading and more editing.
Yeah, do your damn job.
Because all of their spag errors, at minimum, all of the spag errors are on them. Because that really is what the editor is there for. You know, the editor's also there to make sure your story doesn't go off the rails, you keep a tight narrative and other such things. But a lot of authors, especially amateur ones, don't want to hear that their story isn't going exactly where it should be. So I can understand why the best you can squeeze in as a beta is just purely spag edits. So that's all I really expect out of having a beta. But these are blatant words that are just like using any spell checker ever. If Notepad had a spell checker, it would tell you you're wrong. So I can't understand how these words slip by whatever editing process Lulu is doing. Except for the fact that they're possibly not even editing the work, and they're just reading it preemptively beforehand because they just want to read it earlier. And or have the power trip of convincing the author to write the story a certain way.
Yeah, I was a beta for an author once. I told him all I'm gonna do is grammar stuff. If you want someone to bounce ideas off, go get a second one. And he did. He had 2 beta readers. The other guy discussed ideas, and I was there to just cleaned up his grammar and spelling and all that, and I didn't have to do a lot of fixes for it either.
Yeah,
He had a pretty good grasp of
I didn't
English
like
language.
doing grammar edits for people I didn't know, so I mostly just stuck to being an idea guy for people. And several of the people I was a soundboard didn't appreciate the fact that I didn't yes man them, so they found other people.
I mean, I feel like half of that is you being who you are.
No, I was very polite back in the day.
Excuse me if I feel that to be very hard to believe.
Well, hard to believe all you want. It's true. I was very polite back in the day to people when I was talking with them about their stories. It's just my interactions with those people are what shaped my future interactions of like the shit I do now with people, where I just fucking shit on them for their garbage ass takes, and I don't try to even understand them or even bother like trying to get a good angle to explain shit to them. It's because I fucking talked with these people for literally almost years. And ultimately, they decided to drop me for a bunch of fucking yes men who just told them that all of their ideas were fantastic and amazing, and they should definitely totally waste their time writing them. And then it
But
turns
then-
out, huh?
The entire point is that somebody is there to check you until you know you're fucking up and you're being fucking stupid.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you see, they had 6,000 favorites on their story. They were popular. They were doing it right. So what's this one guy telling him he's doing it wrong? He must be wrong.
Oh god, I've had to deal with that when I was like basically being like a soundboard for Zara.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He
Well, everyone else says I'm amazing, and you're saying I'm not. So
well, it wasn't in that case with me with Zara. It's more like Zara. Sneaky might have an idea what I mean,
Yeah.
but Zara has issues when it comes to doing things his way, or at the very
Yeah.
least, he has a level of he has control issues. I want to say
He has massive control
one of those
issues.
people.
Yeah.
when he does an idea, he cannot lowball it. He has to do it at full maximum potential in his story, or he gets aggravated when we try to
Like-
suggest a nerf of some sort.
Yeah, like he'll have an interesting idea, like Taylor from Worm post Golden Morning ends up in Ruby with her mind control power still active, and it acts it interacts very oddly with Aura, and she ends up like mind controlling Cinder.
Yes, that one. He went weird with
Emerald,
that one.
and
Like
Ruby.
apparently, oops, sorry. Go
Yeah.
on. Like in his idea, from what I remember, like back when I was in his DM group and stuff, he said that I think it was he explained it that Taylor was a shard faunus. That was his explanation. And
Yeah, like I
Oh,
say, and
what?
yeah, this
A
is
shard
basically
faunus.
yeah,
That's
this is
literally
like
what
a
he
great
said.
example of what I'm trying to say here. Is that basically he has this interesting idea of like, okay, I want to see where you go with this about how like all of these people that normally would be fighting each other are now linked on a level that is like conceptual, and then he's like, okay, cool. So you like that idea? You'll love my next idea. It's like, okay, what's your next idea? She's a shard faunus, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
But that's fucking
No.
retarded.
And you tell him
How
that's a
does it
dumb
work?
idea, and he's like, "No, you're wrong. You liked the previous
Yeah,
idea, and this is
it's
just
the
an
thing.
extension of that." And it's like, no, it's not an extension.
Like one of the ideas that me and like the other kind of more or less convinced him to drop was he had this idea of Sailor Moon idea where one of the side characters gets into an accident and reads the One Punch Man manga because apparently that existed. And it's like, okay, I can kind of see where I have an idea where he's going, except he wanted her to have the full peak power set. Saitama did instead of like say through the magic she managed to replicate part of it.
When was this idea of his? 'Cause
This
we
was
only-
never really
Back
posted.
when One
This was
Punch
just
Man was popular.
No, this was actually
So
I'd say about a
popular.
year ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
This was before I left his
we've
DM group
we've
and
literally only
basically-
just now got like unofficial confirmation on how ridiculous.
Yeah, no, this
that's
was
supposed to even
before anything recent. This was not recent. This
Okay.
was like about a year ago.
Phew.
Yeah, but he wanted to have her be this full power Saitama power set and be proactive, and it's like me and the other person who have an idea of how that scales in Sailor Moon's setting where like that would basically render any real conflict null and void, because she would
Yeah.
trample everything and she'd be actively going after the enemy. She's not like passive like Saitama. And we're like, why not just have it be like she doesn't have the full power, or she's not at that bullshit level. She's kind of midway or on her way, and it's like you can still scale the conflict reasonably. He got pissy at us for suggesting to nerf it.
Yeah.
I can see why in this case, because
What?
if she doesn't one punch every fucking thing, it completely voids the idea.
Yeah, it's like I understand that, but it's like you're having a character read a manga. As far as in series go, she's reading a manga, and she's somehow replicating full powers. It's like One Punch Man,
Oh,
the
it's
world's
fucking
fucking
stupid.
batty. You can,
Agreed.
yeah, One Punch Man world, you can justify like everything's bullshit. There's no real sense and logic. Like people develop super telekinetic powers,
Yeah,
super
the power
cyborgs.
scaling is whatever the hell the author wants, and he
Yeah.
enjoys it a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like,
And as he should be allowed to.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give an example myself. So, Sign, how aware of StarCraft are you?
Not at all.
Okay. So I'm gonna send you a clip.
Okay.
So this was back when Heart of the Swarm, StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm came out. And the author I was talking with wanted to write a story in where the Naruto world was invaded by the Zerg, which is the creatures on the screen.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, so the ninjas are going to hold out against the Zerg for like 2 months. And then the Terran are going to show up and save the day. And I'm kind of just like, bro, the Terran can't even hold out. The Terran can't even hold out several days against the Zerg.
Yeah, aren't those things horrible biological horrors that consume everything in their path?
They were
Yes, they're
literally
Tyranids.
created by the progenitors of the universe, effectively, to be a ultimate biological evolution that was capable of adapting to any threat posed to it.
So it needs someone with chakra, they all have chakra, everyone dies at the end.
Pretty much, effectively. And so he, the reason why I'm posted this video, so you can see like how big the armies get, like the literal
I'm aware of the term Zerg Rush.
Yeah, the literal carpet of Zerg you can see in this shot, and the actual like full-on battle lines of the Terran.
Right.
He was basing his entire premise of the ninjas being able to fight off the Zerg off of the video game's numbers in the video game. As in, the actual RTS population cap.
That's
But
a
the cap is a
mistake.
system cap.
Yes.
It's to keep your system from crashing.
Yes.
And you can adjust it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, if your system's good enough, you can go in and basically set the cap to whatever the fuck you want. All RTS do that.
Yeah. And so the reason why he wanted to have the Zerg to invade in the first place is because he wanted Naruto to be put into a position. This was like post-Pain Naruto, I think. It was either post-Pain or pre-Pain Naruto, I forget. But it was like around Pain. I think it was pre-Pain Naruto, yeah. Because Konoha wasn't destroyed in his idea. It was post time skip, pre-Pain Naruto. You know, his second idea was Naruto as a child, yeah. So the first idea was post time skip, pre-Pain Naruto. And they fight off the Zerg, and then the Terran come in, and they kidnap Naruto, and they turn him into a Spectre, which is basically, a brainwashed hyper assassin with psychic powers who then gets given drugs to make them even stronger. And they get crazy because of it.
No.
And then
Understandable.
Hinata was supposed to become a ghost, which is what the normal assassins are without the drugs. And then they were supposed to, and ghosts and specters hate each other, and so they fight in a shadow civil war against each other. And then Naruto and Hinata were supposed to meet in space and then fight each other and then realize that the other person is the other person. And then Naruto saves Hinata from being a ghost. And then question mark. And I was like, hey,
Then
first off,
question.
the Zerg would overrun the world in 2 days, canonically. Second off, why? And why any of this story? Like, what is this story supposed to be? Like, what's the end goal of this story? What's the exploration of this story? You want to take Naruto, you want to turn him into someone completely different. You want to take Hinata, you want to turn her into someone completely different. And then you want to try and reenact James Raynor and Sarah Kerrigan to do nothing. He's like, well, yeah, but it's a really cool idea. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. So then he was like, okay, well, fine. The Terran invade the planet to kidnap child Naruto and child Hinata and a bunch of the other kids from Konoha. They can turn them into hyper assassins. And I'm like, and the Terran would win. He's like, well, no, the ninja beat them back. I'm like, no, there is nothing a ninja can do against a 100-ton space steel fantasy metal tank that has a 230 millimeter cannon.
Sneaky, they can do one thing:
Die?
get scraped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all sounds really fucking dumb.
Like,
bad dumb.
yeah.
I'm now just remembering the first Naruto movie
Like, here we
when
go.
a
Here's actually a
train
great
rolls up.
moment. That's the size of a Terran battleship. On screen. That's the size of a Terran battleship.
Night Gray.
Like-
Gray has been gone for a hot minute.
Yeah, Gray's been going for.
Oh.
No.
Ah, yes. Man, if Blizzard could just like take their cinematics team and make a movie.
No.
Yes, do it.
Yeah,
I
really
don't
wish
trust
they would.
them to make a good movie.
They don't have to. All they literally have to do is take the plot they've already made that was good and animate it.
Yes,
And-
do you
oh,
trust
and
them
yes.
to do that?
Yes!
No. Not without putting in a whole bunch of woke garbage.
Well, now maybe not, but
Yes, and we are specifically talking about now.
Yeah, they'd fuck it up.
sure they would find a way, I guess. Maybe not the animation team, but because the animation team's been pretty based. But I'm sure the directors and the higher ups would have something to say about what's being added and what's not being put in.
Yeah, the animation team takes their marching orders from somebody fucking else.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's like that's the size of a Terran battleship, and you're really gonna tell me that a bunch of fucking ninjas who have a population of 100,000 are gonna somehow fight off 100 plus of these? Because that's what a normal Terran fleet is.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Terrans don't fuck about, dude.
Terrans do not fuck about.
Terrans are the ones that ask, are you ready to fuck around and find out?
I'm pretty sure the only way there's any chance of this is if it's like way the fuck after Naruto Shippuden.
Also, like,
Like,
yeah, here we go.
It's got to be the planet busting versions of
So
Naruto and Sasuke, and they're
here,
the only two capable of that.
pretty much, yeah. So
At that
here's
point-
what a tank shot looks like from these tanks. Right there. See that giant fucking explosion? That's what a normal tank shot from those tanks looks like.
I want to point out they have a siege mode, but that just gives the gun more range. They have a mode where they just roll forward with that.
You know how you could have explained to this person
I
why their
literally
idea was
sent
bad?
him this clip.
Oh, you wouldn't. You could have just told them they have tanks that do what moderate does, but own command without chakra,
I mean, that's fair.
and in
But
the,
I
and in the
literally
hundreds.
sent him this clip, and he was like, "Oh,
Wait, that's
Yeah.
that's what the fights are supposed to look like.
yeah." That's how I found out he was using the RTS as a guide to what the units were like.
Yeah, oh, just a side
but-
note, man, the Vikings have never looked better than in this cutscene, which is a damn shame because
Yeah.
they are a trash unit.
They are so bad, but so great at the same time.
Okay,
Like,
so if we
Cutscene, they're beautiful, but
So the Vikings are the guys flying around at the start, who then turn into little tiny mechas with dual machine guns.
Oh, those
well,
are
they're more
sick.
like rotator cannons.
Those
Oh,
sound
yeah.
sick.
Yes,
That does
poor
sound
little
cool.
siege
Wait,
tank, yeah, right there.
wait. This is oh yeah, we can say this is sped the fuck up.
Oh yeah,
lot.
I'm speeding it up so I don't get dinged.
Yeah, but
You're
Cute
probably
little
still gonna
siege-
get dinged.
Cute little giant siege tank. Whoop. Crushed like a tin can.
also I want to point out that thing's got some acceleration.
And I just want to point out that the siege tank is twice the size of a normal Terran Marine, and a normal Terran Marine's like 9 meters tall because of the giant fucking power armor they're in. And
Also, they're just regular people. Like,
yeah, there's that too. Yeah, they're just literally regular people.
no, I thought they
Except-
were like
except
2
for
meter
Tycho.
tall. No, 3
Tycho
meter.
is swole.
I thought they were huge compared to normies.
Nope, it's actually
No.
the armor that's fucking massive.
Yeah,
See,
no,
what the
they
issue
just take-
is,
Literally,
can't.
all of the soldiers are just people.
Like, don't get me
And
wrong,
they're just
they're all
convicts.
super athletic. Like, they're fucking ripped. They're not like... They're more like bodybuilder ripped than they are like muscle man ripped.
They're
be
not
fair, there's a lot
like
of drugs in
Space
there.
Marines.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I
But
thought
yeah,
the
so-
Space Marines were supposed to be like 8 feet tall, maybe 9.
Yeah, but that's normal height. Like that, like the armor doesn't actually add a lot of height to them. In StarCraft, the Space Marines are quite literally 5 to 6 foot guys who get in these giant 9-foot armors.
Something legal issues, something GW, something StarCraft was supposed to be the first RTS for Warhammer.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that's a great shot of the explosion radius from one of those tanks. But yeah, the tanks are fucking massive, and these ultralisks crush them like they're stepping on an ant. And
I know it's dumb.
No,
That is one of my favorite RTS unit names. The Ultralisk. What is this? The Ultralisk.
It's
All right, fair
fucking
enough then.
huge. It's like, okay.
And I
Tells
do
you what you
they
do.
did a pretty good job of making them a fucking terrifying unit while still keeping them balanced in game.
Yeah. Another thing that like people don't get when they try to do StarCraft crossovers is that the StarCraft Space Marine shoots fucking depleted uranium rounds out of their gun.
They what?
Yeah, they shoot DU rounds.
Yeah, just
you know,
No.
just full DU rounds, not tipped, not coated, just a
Oh.
straight up depleted uranium spike.
I thought they were gyro jets with DU.
just
No,
for good measure.
it's electro launched. They don't have ammo casings, as far as I'm aware.
Small coil gun.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a small coil gun.
What the fuck?
Yeah, wait. Yeah, I'm not seeing ammo casings drop.
Yeah, no. That again, these are they have miniaturized coil guns. Honestly, Sneaky, yeah, put this in like slow speed.
Okay, no, though they are shooting. Okay, so it is gyrojet. Yeah,
See?
I am seeing the casings drop. But yeah, it's still DU rounds, right? And what people aren't understanding about that is it's like they have to fire DU rounds at the Zerg to kill them, and even that doesn't guarantee the Zerg
I
dying.
mean, it works on the little ones.
Yeah, it works on the little ones. And so it's like, people are like, oh, well, just kill the Zerg. It's like, you don't understand how heavy depleted uranium being fired by a miniature RPG is in terms of kinetic force, and that works on the little ones.
It makes a big boom.
Like, it's like the Zerg, their power level is fucking crazy, and you just don't get it because they fight. It's all like the basic units that are fighting each other, and it's like you just don't understand how crazy their power level is because everyone's fighting at the same power level.
Okay, so as far as Naruto Ninja goes, they would take a lot of losses, but I think they could hold off a small number of Zerg, maybe, and that's with some serious fucking firepower behind them. They'd have to have
that doesn't work because the small number of Zerg quickly balloon.
Yeah,
Become a
literally
large number of
the only
Zerg,
way
yeah.
they could hold off a small number of Zerg is if they had no means of generating creep or generating a nest. That's literally the only way they could hold off a small number of Zerg, because the Zerg literally canonically, they said this in StarCraft 2, I believe in the Terran campaign, where basically they got a distress signal about a Zerg invasion, and they asked how long ago, and they said it was like 2 days ago this happened, and he's like, okay, we still have time. It might not be too late. And then it takes them like a couple hours to a day to get there, and the entire planet's already overrun.
Jesus.
So it took 3 days for a single scout detachment of Zerg to overrun a planet.
Yeah, so they just convert biomass, right?
Yeah, it's literally anything.
Yeah.
They're literally
Okay.
just units, yeah.
So
anything that's organic.
So minerals
a-
in the soil, plants, trees, living creatures, anything that has resource in it.
minerals too.
Minerals in the
Minerals
soil.
are an important thing in all StarCrafts.
Okay,
Oh,
so
dude,
you
okay, so
need
there is
ninjas
quite literally
and
no
fire
way
ninjas.
Well, no, we
to-
should be clear. They need a mixture of things to create their stuff.
Yeah, you could strip all the minerals out with earth ninjas and use fire ninjas to burn it all the fuck down.
You are
Yes.
assuming a far higher control of Earth Jitsu
Yes.
than is actually shown. Like, Gar
Yeah.
could do that, but he has
Gar
minute
could.
control over such things.
We never actually see anyone do it, but it may be a thing that can be done.
Well,
So
no, we
I
see Gar
can't
do it.
tell.
No, you gotta
We
keep
see-
in mind,
we
when
see
I
Gar
say
do it
minerals,
because of-
I don't mean like, oh, the iron in the ground. When I say minerals, I mean like the trace minerals you find in dirt that plants absorb.
Yeah, that's what I
Sinking
figured
shit.
you meant. Like, Gar's the only person we've seen that's capable of doing that, and he can only do that because of his sand control.
Yeah, I mean literal, the
Maybe
microscopic
someone at
minerals.
Onoki's level, but again, Onoki's an old ass ninja, and he got that way because he was a freak of nature.
But don't get me wrong, they'll still eat the iron.
There aren't that many freaks of nature in Naruto.
Yeah, they need to just go nuclear, basically launch all the big attacks at once,
The other
and hope
problem,
that does it.
the other problem with
they're
the
lucky, they'll
ninjas
wipe 'em
is
out.
that they probably won't try to nuclearize them. They'll probably try and capture them and study them and dissect them.
Oh, right, ninjas. Yeah, that's gonna work out poorly, and then everyone dies.
Yes.
Yes.
Basically, there's no way that they win this. That I
Well-
can
Ninjas
think
fuck
of.
up.
Like,
Basically, the only way for the ninjas to win is for them to A, not act like ninjas, and B, face a extremely small detached Zerg cluster.
Ninjas fuck up again. More news at 11.
Yeah.
and they have to wipe that cluster immediately.
Yeah, because the creep will
'Cause-
grow.
Like, if even one gets away, it can start creep, right?
No,
No, technically
there
not.
has to be a queen.
No, there has to be a worker.
Yeah, right.
Technically speaking, when there is no controllers left, the Zerg will revert to their base behavior of the animal they're based on. So Zerglings will hunt in packs, and they'll just kill though. They'll kill and eat, but they won't like drag the food back to the nest anymore.
And more importantly, they won't grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like workers, when they lose control, is one of their default behaviors is to reestablish a nest.
Make a new queen.
Yeah. So as long as one worker survives, then you have problems.
So they would
Basically.
literally luck of the draw then.
Oh, also the other downside of killing the commanders and just hoping that works out is that if you wait long enough, the feral Zerg will start to regain their suppressed intelligence because all of the Zerg are intelligent, but they all have like basically their intelligence gets turned into sub-processors. So when a commander gives an order, the intelligence will be able to process that order in a way that doesn't require micromanagement.
Mm.
And if you let a feral Zerg go on long enough, eventually they'll just start becoming commanders.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any sort of win scenario then for the ninjas of the elemental nations.
You'd need Naruto to wipe it immediately, or Sasuke with like
Nuking.
Amaterasu.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get one of the freaks of nature that can just wipe a fraction of a continent on command.
And it's gonna need to be a large fraction of a continent wiped just to be fucking sure.
Listen, it's like when you're playing Halo and the elites were mad that the humans only let them glass Africa.
Yes.
To be fair,
Like, they're like, we probably need to glass the two around it to be safe. No.
But we need to be sure.
to
be
be
fair,
fair,
they are
with the
correct.
flood, they absolutely need to make sure.
Oh yeah, the Flood are basically the Zerg by another name.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, they're actually work because like if a bunch of Zerglings survive, that's a problem, but your planet's not gonna die. But like
That's true.
one flood spore gets away.
Yeah.
Your planet's dead.
It gets
GG.
worse.
The answer to the flood was, what if we just wipe the entire universe?
Funnily
Yeah,
enough, the Zerg would actually beat the flood. Because they could eat all of the flood spore and become No,
the Flood would convert them.
no, it wouldn't because the Zerg use psychic control as well.
Flood, the microspores are airborne, and that also converts people.
I mean, here's the thing. It would depend on what like how large the initial infestations are, because like if it's even, they're just going to trade biomass back and forth, but the problem is the flood do not adapt.
Yeah.
Zerg do.
I thought the Flood adapted.
No, the flood are sort of like the xenomorphs in that they only adapt based on what their host species is.
Well, then, if they take a Zerg, they then gain Zerg adaptability.
No, they only gain the current Zerg body.
But what if it's a Gravemind?
Well, then the galaxy's
mean?
fucked, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a grave, well, here's the thing: if there's a grave
like
mine, then
that.
there's a full queen there. Like,
Yeah.
The Gravemind is the flood creature, not the Zerg.
Yeah.
And there's always a Gravemind.
Mm,
Well, no,
Would the
it
grave
requires a
mind
certain
possibly
amount of
attempt
mass.
to work out a deal?
Would the Gravemind try and work out a deal with the Overmind?
I mean, like, it's clear, like,
okay, so here's the thing: the
proof that the grave mind
Gravemind
is willing
would,
to
but the
talk.
Gravemind would plan to betray
yeah,
them.
Yeah, he would
The-
betray.
The Overmind would work out a deal, and the Overmind would actually probably honor the deal.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
Zerg are actually better than the
the
Flood.
Overmind would honor the deal, but Overmind was also characterized as this sort of person. I say person in a very vague manner. As a sort of person who is the kind of guy, like the classical devil of, I am going to honor the exact lettering of the deal you signed with me, but I am going to
Yes.
find a loophole that will allow me to do everything you didn't want me to do.
No,
Yeah.
obviously.
But also, he'll keep that in his pocket until it becomes, oh wow, what an inevitable betrayal scenario.
Right. So what I'm
Curse you and
hearing
curse your
is there
inevitable
needs to
betrayal.
be a crack pick in the style of a 80s or 90s sitcom with these two.
Sounds right.
I would more like to see a crack fic involving all of the various unnaturals teaming up to fight the what the fuck is the Tyranids. So dead space markers, the grave mind, the overmind,
That's fucking terrifying.
Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White, and Monty Python's Holy Grail's Black Knights,
I'm getting dinner. It's 8:30.
Zombie the Genie and the Blue Meanie.
Jesus Christ.
And they all team up to kick the Tyranid's ass.
And then they realized the Tyranids were running away from something else.
Yes.
Yes.
Is
And
that
then
ever-
everyone and then
No,
everyone dies
it's never
because fuck
told
you buy
what
our
they're
new
running away
series.
from, because that would kind of ruin the whole thing. They already kind of ruined it because they're like, here's the Tyranids, and then they're like, actually, the Tyranids aren't actually the Tyranids. The Tyranids that you're fighting right now are actually a splinter of the Splinter Fleet of the Scout Fleet.
A splinter of a splinter of a scout.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought
this is GW
Tyranids
writing.
were actually. I thought they were part of the swarm.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like, the Zerg. I thought they were Zerg.
No, the
Oh.
No, again, this comes back to how Blizzard was originally making a Warhammer 40k game. And so they ended up having Space Marine models and Tyranid models and a whole bunch of other shit. And then Games
you pulled the
Workshop
plug
pulled out.
because-
And so they were like, well, we have all of these models and we already have a story. Might as well just publish the game anyway.
And then it became electronic crap.
So the Tyranids are from 40k, the Zerg are from StarCraft.
Yeah, I thought that was all one continuity or something.
Nope.
Like, set in the future.
If only.
I mean,
Yeah.
it could be for all the similarities, but
Yeah, but the Terrans are way cooler than the Imperium. Because the Imperium is all like, oh, well, the humans are only surviving because of all this magical woohoo bullshit, and Terrans are like, the humans are doing just fine, and they're living in really dumb places because science,
well,
technology.
that's what humans do.
Yes. And the Terrans in StarCraft are just humans. Fuck yeah. It's like, what's going on in this planet? Oh, well, it's mostly desert. Oh, okay. So, like, does anyone care about it? No, not really. So what's their government like? Oh. So... What?
We could
There's
just
cowboy
mute-
gangs. People just kind of roam around. They got posses and shit. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. I want me my cyber lever action.
Yes.
Okay.
The Fallout region.
That's when I was confused at the size of the Terrans versus the Imperium, because the Imperium are supposed to all be bioengineered up to 9
Yeah.
feet tall or some shit.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, is that the Imperium is all like, we use biomagic and bullshitium to be as awesome as we are, and the Terrans are like, we have grit, guns, beer, and
Really good
guns.
understanding of hydraulics.
It's kind of
And
actually
boy, do
something
we
that
love
isn't-
hydraulics.
It's kind of an actual problem with 40K where they're just. It started out as like, let's make a joke about Warhammer Fantasy, and it's like, oh, I mean, we can sort of also do a historical type thing.
Oh, by the way, also
and then it became green, and then it just became grim derp. It's so fucking bad.
the Terrans by far have the best fucking theme music.
I mean, yes.
It's like this mix of like rockish metal guitar, but like southern country.
Okay, well, as a Southerner, my interest is now peaked.
A little bit.
Absolute jam.
This is already a solid like 10 seconds.
My internet's slow.
There's like 4 of the tracks for them, and they have different speeds.
Oh yeah, I had this
Okay, yeah.
here myself when I see the voice.
Yeah, okay, that's not bad. Like at all.
Was it Terran 4?
Shit, no, I'll take it back. That's actually really good.
Yeah, and here's Terran 4. Like, this is the music you basically just get on repeat when you play as Terrans, and it's just like, yeah, this is such a fucking jam.
That is rocking out, yeah.
Oh god, the Terrans are great.
Alright. I'm gonna have to put this song down, but like, this is the song that you give me if like you want to sell me on a game to try it out. It's definitely the kind of song. to
Here's
send.
the humans theme
Yeah.
song, and it's like, all right, yeah, I'm feeling the humanity fuck yeah vibes.
Humanity, fuck yeah!
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of games like that. It's like fucking the original XCOM soundtrack too. That shit was cash.
Yeah, that's fair.
9:30. We should really wrap this up.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yes, we
wrap it
should.
up. Don't worry about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end it here. Come back on Tuesday. You know the drill. There's always more, and it always gets worse.